Hello and welcome to the Cluster API provider for AWS Office Hours. Today is May 12th, and as a reminder for all participants, please use the raise hands feature. And also a reminder that we are governed by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which in short means be nice and treat others like you would want to be treated. Um, so my screen around just a little bit. Um, the first item I have for the agenda is just letting everyone know that there is a PR for CAPI 110 that is proceeding. It's hitting some CI bumps right now, but it is moving along. Um, yeah, and I think that's all I have. Does anyone have anything else to add to the agenda?
Well, yeah, sorry for joining late. Actually, we have two proposals for Rosa HSCP work, and they are being in review for a good time. I would to have them merged. We just give the BR for these two proposals. One for creating Rosa default VPC network, and the other one is to create the roles HSB as well, ARN rules. Yeah, so this is the first one. Should I add this to the agenda or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
If you've
just,
got the links.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just give me a second.
Yeah, Mike.
So it's not so much of an agenda item, but I did want to mention a thank you to everyone on the project. Adobe has started its wholesale adoption of its EKS clusters into Kappa. Um, I know, been on and off in the project for quite some time now, but it's like finally, really, really happening. And so I just did want to throw out my appreciation to everyone for the support over the last, I guess, year and a half. I guess it's been getting us to this point. So I just did want to throw out that appreciation and thank you to everyone.
Cool. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad that they've been onboarded.
Yeah, so I added both the
Oops.
proposals we are. So yeah, so if we can somehow put a deadline for reviewing this and merging them, that will be appreciated. Because the team is already started doing a bit of the implementation based on what we have in the proposal. So yeah, that's all what I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask folks to please take a look by at least this time next week or by the next community meeting.
Thanks, Nolan.
Yep. Yes, Pankaj.
Hi, thank you, Nolan. Uh, so I see that our initial PR for the SDK V2 migration is merged. So I think the other efforts can go parallel now, right?
Yes.
I, I'm planning on taking on EKS as first. Any suggestion around that? Because we are missing on many features which are in V2 for EKS specifically, around like access entries, or hybrid nodes, all sorts of things which are only available in V2.
Yeah, just 1 second. I'll get to the parent issue. Yeah, so
Yeah.
for
So
those, yeah, for those who don't know, Pankaj has gotten the S3 package moved over to the AWS SDK v2. If you had a PR in flight that touched this, it has been probably needs a rebase. Uh, so I would say, Pankaj, if you've got the cycles, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
prioritize based on what you need. Um,
Got it.
this and like you said, for other folks, um, there was some there was a need for some logic to be updated for session handling, and Pankaj took care of that in his first PR. So, as Pankaj just said, these should be parallelizable now. So if you've got one of these that you would like to take, yeah, please go ahead and assign yourself or get a PR created and we can get the paperwork done for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also had another item. I see Julio in the call about the dedicated host. So
Sure.
are we on track for that one, Julio?
Yeah, so I wrote the, by the way, can you hear me okay? This is new mic. Yeah. So I wrote the logic, which is really simple, just passing the parameters to the placement,
Mm-hmm.
but the end-to-end tests are giving me a bit of a hard time. We just copied from a new base test, the functional cluster class, and tomorrow we have a meeting to help basically me allocate and deallocate the hosts. On the last session, we took a look on Boscos, and I added the code to allocate and release to prune dedicated hosts,
Mm-hmm.
and now we have to check if that's working okay, and then add the dedicated hosts tests to the E3 test suite.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that's it.
Okay.
However, this is so far, this is for pre-allocated hosts.
Mm.
So we are passing the host ID. And now is the following discussion is there we do have a business case for managed dedicated hosts by which the customer just says that they want dedicated hosts of that
Mm-hmm.
size and that configuration, and Kappa would automatically allocate and release the dedicated hosts. And then that's
Yeah,
the
I think that's the
upcoming
on-the-fly
question.
allocation, right? For
Yeah,
the host. Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
because from your company, I was in conversation with Jim from
Hmm.
Rosa,
Yeah,
and they are looking for this on-the-fly allocation. So I just wanted to know that we do not have any overlapping efforts on that.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you and anybody can help there, this I'm on it since November. It's been a huge quest for such a simple thing. And yeah, I have a PR open, and tomorrow we're gonna push it further. And hopefully this is near the end because it's really simple. At least the current version, which is just passing the host ID, is really simple. The one next, then I'm not sure really how to manage this state, like how to persist and this mapping
Mhm.
and manage the dedicated hosts correctly. That's upcoming. Yeah, that I
Okay.
don't know. But perhaps probably the same way it does with subnets or some other resource. But yeah,
Yeah, I
any
think
help
we
on this?
we can we
Great.
can work together on this one because if we are currently, I know the PR is targeting the pre-allocated host, but then
Hmm.
we have to make sure that whatever schema we are finalizing, it accommodates any future changes. So just let's have a discussion if you don't mind.
Thanks. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
Uh, just one last query. Yeah, I have another question for the team, but for Julio,
Sure.
what's your alias in the copy or
It's
when it is
fire.
assigned?
It's Fireman J. let me see, or on
Yeah, if you can
Slack,
just put that in chat, I'll ping you directly, and then we can sync up.
yeah, it's anyway, I'll just add,
I found it.
yeah, visual file at Red Hat.
Got it.
Like this, or Fairman is the usual username
Found it.
usually.
I pinged you.
Cool.
All right.
Perfect.
Nolan, I had a last question
Yeah.
before we take more time. Currently, the providers that we have in CAPI, they are tightly coupled with the cluster to be from the same provider. Did we have any prior discussion? I believe I saw a couple of GitHub issues where we talked about decoupling these providers from specific, like having that hard requirement of having a cluster from the same provider. So I just wanted to get your thoughts. Like, are we planning to do anything about it? The context for that this question is now EKS has a hybrid node support, and when we start using hybrid nodes and we want to provision something on premise, for example, Spectro Cloud has a mass provider which is not part of the SIG, but it's still there. It can provision on-prem nodes just like that. But the problem currently is the provider model that we have. It is tightly coupled with the cluster from the same provider, so it doesn't work that really well. So, what are the discussions like? Did we have those discussions, or do we have any plans around making these changes or making this kind of use pattern possible?
So to clarify, are you asking specifically about the Kappa project, or are you asking about CAPI in general?
Generally.
Okay. Richard's got his hands up. I think he might have more historical context on this, so I'll let him go ahead.
Yeah. This question has come up a lot over the years, having essentially mixed provider clusters, and I guess the stance of Core CAPI is that actually there's nothing technically that stops this, and as you point out, it's just the way that the providers make that assumption between the machine reconcilers and the infra clusters. So yeah, there's an acknowledgement that is the only thing stopping it. There have been lots of discussions, but I guess if we're talking purely from a Kappa point of view, I guess on the EKS side, it's a bit easier because we essentially don't have anything really in our AWS managed cluster or infra cluster on that side. It would be more difficult for the pure EC2 side of things. So it would require significant rework to the API, which, we can do. It would be great to do. It'd be great to wrap it in with, rethinking the networking, because that would require us to completely relook at the infra cluster as well. So we did start to do some work on what it might look like for a new infra cluster, but or a new API kind, but we could kick that off again. It would be good.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem is getting that across the board, isn't it? So if you want VMs for control planes and then EC2 for workers, it's a whole different ball game when you have to go across different providers.
Yeah, and when even I looked at the code, I know it would require significant rework, but just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Thank you for that, Richard.
Sorry, I thought something else. So we have this problem where I work now. So we have created a provider essentially that allows us to do this with a few restrictions as a way just to get around this problem in a short term. I keep meaning to open source it, so I could let me take that away, and I'll ping my boss again, because that would help short term. It's a bit of a hack, but it does work.
Yeah, I did the same thing for the mass provider, like in the machines controller. So my perception is, at the end of the day, these are different controllers packaged into one binary, right? So if these kind of use cases or user patterns are evolving, I think we should take a look at that as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it would take a long time to change
Yeah.
to get agreement, and which it's not to say that we shouldn't do it, but yeah, we could kick it off again. I know there was a core bunch of people that were interested in this last time.
That'd be great. All right.
Yeah, and I'll just throw in on that. I think this is probably something that should be solved at the CAPI level, but I do think it'll require some time to figure out what API changes will be made and how exactly to handle this and facilitate it. So yeah, I would encourage folks to come to the CAPI office hours and bring this up and
Definitely.
see what like folks like Fabrizio and Stefan and Christian have to say.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you, team.
Yeah, thank you. That's the end of the agenda here. Richard, did you have anything that you wanted to discuss? No? Okay.
Not really, no.
Okay. All right, then I think, yeah, so just a quick recap. If folks, especially approvers, could see about reviewing these ROSA HCP proposals. Tomorrow, we're going to try to work with Julio to get some more E2Es defined for dedicated hosts. I would also encourage you, Julio, to look at a proposal for like the on-the-fly provisioning and
Yep.
make suggestions and we can iterate on that.
Yep.
And then the SDK v2 work. I know at my employer we've raised the flag that we need to get this done, so we'll probably try to take a few of these as well. But the cutoff date, I believe, is in July for support on SDK v1. So thank you, Pankaj, for pushing that one forward. And
Yep.
there's plenty there if folks want to dig in and get contributions going.
Yeah, now we have this migration of session packages and identity packages done. I think we should be fine. It should be quick. All work can get parallelized, and we should get it done.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, then. Thanks, everyone, for your attendance and contribution. And actually, I did mention something about getting these reviewed by next session, but that will be a U.S. holiday. So I will not be around for the next scheduled community meeting. I don't know if we want to defer that or not.
That's a good point, because it's a bank holiday for some other countries as well, isn't it? Public holiday, so it might be worth just deferring it or not doing that meeting.
Okay. Yeah, let's skip that meeting, but also reviewers, please, let's all try to take some time to get in on these HCP proposals. Cool. I will update the notes on here, and I'll probably just put another placeholder agenda in for May 26th to let people know. All right. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Thank you. Have a
Yeah.
good weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Same. Bye.